And so, when Sigmar's crown is sundered, his hammer shattered, and his divinity revealed as the mockery that it is, the legions of chaos will pour forth from their womb far to the north, and wherever they tread, the ground will blacken, and what they touch will wither to dust and blow away. And when they speak, all will bow before their might. And in these final days, the world shall die to make a way for the new, the beautiful, and the ever-changing.
The realm of chaos is a place of dreams and nightmares, where effect need not follow cause. Within its bounds, anything is possible. There are no physical laws akin to those that dominate the mortal world. Within its confines, hopes and fears become real, and reality is reborn as fevered hallucination. Gravity, shape, space, and reason all are in flux and utterly mutable to the will of the Chaos Gods. Few mortals are capable of perceiving the realm of chaos in its true splendour, for the living mind recoils from its otherworldly landscapes. Thus, no two visions of the realm of chaos are exactly alike, and are often contradictory. The dark gods of chaos each have their own particular spheres of influence, their own demonic servants, and their own territories. Yet the realm of chaos is not merely the home of the dark gods, it is also their battlefield, the arena for a great game of supremacy. The brothers are constantly at war with one another, vying for power amid the plains. Despite their myriad differences, the Chaos Gods share a common goal, total dominion of all that is. But such absolute power cannot be shared, even amongst gods. So it is that this particular world is burdened by constant wars of attrition. Vast demonic armies swarm across crystal plains, venomous forests, bone-choked swampland, and rivers of churning gore, battling to the death to claim and counterclaim territory and the magical lifeblood that goes with it. In the realm of chaos, where magic is the stuff of being, the breadth of a domain is not merely a symbol of power, but it is indeed power itself. As the minions of one god seize advantage, captured territory is moulded to the whims of its new master. If Khorne overruns a portion of Nurgle's festering garden, the diseased foliage swiftly decays down to nothing, leaving only ruddy wasteland. Similarly, should Tzeentch manage to wrest that same territory from Khorne, crystalline structures burst forth from the parched firmament. Alliances in this eternal war are complex, but far from unknown. In fact, the Chaos Gods often seek advantage through common cause. Although Khorne is the greatest of the brothers, he is not all-powerful. Tzeentch is his closest rival, but if the circumstances are right, then Nurgle, and sometimes Slaanesh, can rise to be his equal or eclipse him entirely. As if this were not complicated enough, there are deep-seated rivalries amongst the gods that can further influence matters. Khorne most despises Slaanesh, whose dark designs are an affront to the dark god's sense of honour and martial pride. Similarly, Tzeentch and Nurgle, respectively the manifestations of hope and despair, need little spurning to come to blows. Each god strives for dominance over the others, and though one may gain ascendancy for a while, no god has yet succeeded in vanquishing another. As one god gains mastery, the others combine against him, and as allies grow in power, they divide, forming new pacts of necessity until another conqueror emerges, to be vanquished in his turn. The Daemons of Chaos, known also as the Legions of Chaos, the arch-enemy and the Great Beast, or simply just demons, are malevolent, otherworldly entities born from the deepest and darkest emotions of all mortal creatures. from their fortresses and palaces in this realm of chaos. These entities watch from envious eyes towards the mortal kingdoms, waiting with unblinking patience for their chance to wreak destruction and dismay upon the world, and to feed upon the misery that they have wrought in turn. Of the many forces which permeate the world, both emotional and natural otherwise, there are only 4 which hold supreme power within this plane of unnatural existence. Power and anger, lust, pleasure, death and despair, and change and hope are the 4 greatest forces which have enthralled the world in its grip. For in a world engulfed in such amounts of war, corruption and disease, their dark presence and their malign influence is all but inevitable. These emotions and thoughts fuel the main 4 Chaos gods, Khorne, Slaanesh, Nurgle and Tzeentch, respectively. Other thoughts and emotions created minor chaos entities, such as Hashut and the Horned Rat, who have also demonic servants which fight alongside the Chaos Dwarves and Skaven armies, rather than fighting directly in support of the 4 main gods. When the time finally arises, these demonic entities seize upon the opportunity to break free from their plane of existence, greedily spilling forth to rampage and slaughter in the name of the Chaos Gods. From the realm of chaos they come to conquer and destroy, creatures of magic in service to the darkest of gods. Armies flee from them. Devastation lies before them, for destruction is the gift that they bring to warriors of all races, causes and creeds. They are the demons of chaos, the servants of insane and blasphemous gods, and they will not rest until the world shares their madness, until all that is clean, orderly and natural is smothered into the stuff of pure chaos. They come to claim us for their dark masters, to choke the world in decadence, to drown it in disease and blood. What hope can there be for the mortal world? It is assailed by nightmares and its most dangerous dreams, each one given murderous form by the power of ancient and terrible gods. How it all began, the origins of thousands of years of human suffering, what opened the eye in the north, no one knows for certain. The tales of old ones in silver ships, sailing on seas of stars, have as much credibility as the myths of Norsemen shamans who claim such and such god slew so and so demon. Of course, those who know, the elves, say little. What we see as truth has been cobbled together from 100 different stories of people all over the old world, and none too few from lands beyond. One thing remains constant with all the tales told of the early days of the world. A great calamity befell. Something glorious, wonderful and powerful died, and when it did, it tore reality asunder, bringing chaos into the world. The oldest legends speak of a race of advanced beings called the Old Ones. It is said that they came 15,000 years before Sigmar, bringing with them a race of servants called the Slan. It is believed that these servants live on in the fetid jungles of Lustria. The Old Ones were powerful, capable of changing the world, altering its movements, raising oceans, mountains, changing the lay of the land to fit their vision of what the world should be. At the time of their arrival, the world was trapped in ice that blanketed all the lands, even those of the fabled Tomb Kings, where the land can strip flesh from bone with rains of sand. But through their agency, they caused the ice to melt and remade this world. The Old Ones were as gods. They cultivated the elder races, placing them on the world. The elves settled in Ulthuan, and the Old Ones placed the dwarves in the mountains. And who knows what other races were born? For all their efforts, and for whatever purpose they had, it would not last. These beings drew their power and magic from great arches in the north and south, vast gates that opened to the heavens. And from it they gained their power to change the world. But the gates fell, tearing the world asunder. Where once the source of good and benevolence stood, suddenly there was only a terrible and angry wound. Pouring out from the hole were the demons and their warping powers of magic. The effects of the gate's destruction created all manner of abominations, so the first incursion of chaos began. The few remaining Slann strove to contain the damage left by the collapse, but they were too few in number, and as more and more died off, chaos grew mightier. The world seemed doomed, and it was, but it was not dead yet. Replacing the Slann in their struggles against the demons were the elves. Emboldened by their blessings from the Old Ones, and committed to saving their world, they rallied and fought the demons for 5 centuries, doing their best to contain the spreading stain of darkness. But each victory was matched by 2 failures, and the elves were pushed further and further south until they fought on the very shores of their islands. But then the great elf hero Inarion passed through the sacred flame of divine energy and emerged as the first Phoenix King of Ulthuan. This world did not end then, but the same struggle continues on this doomed planet. Just as the Chaos Gods are beings of magic, so too are their demonic servants. Each demon is a splinter of his divine master, a distorted reflection of mortal yearning, a shard of emotion and dark desire, given form and license to destroy. Thus every demon reflects something of his master's presence and personality. Demons of Khorne are muscled and brutal, given to slaughter and murder, whilst those that serve Tzeentch are whimsical and devious, shunning physical combat to favour the sorcery that Khorne detests so much. Nurgle's demons are by far the hardiest of their kind, if somewhat moribund in thought and deed, whilst Slaaneshi demons are lithe and whip-quick, as delicate in form as they are vicious in temperament. There are also demons serving minor Chaos Gods. Demons of Hashut are creatures of metal, darkness and fire. The Horned Rat commands mighty Vermin Lords, of which there are several kinds. Lastly, there are Chaos Furies, who shift and change with the realm of chaos, bound to no god in particular. Regardless of form, demons are unnaturally resilient, able to shrug off blows that would tear another creature asunder. Indeed, a demon cannot truly be slain. Its physical body can be destroyed, sure enough, but this merely banishes the demon's spirit into the swirling wellspring of magical energy known as the Forge of Souls. Thus vanquished, the demon embarks on the process of creating a new body to inhabit, and dreams of vengeance against those that humbled it. Demons can only enter the mortal world if sustained by magic. Whilst magic flows, a demon is nigh unstoppable, for it cares nothing for the plight of its fellows, and fears nothing except the terrible wrath of the Chaos Gods themselves. Thus are the battles within the realm of chaos, where magic suffuses every particle of dust and air, ceaseless and interminable things, with victors but slowly determined, if indeed they are determined at all. Yet when the demons spill over into the mortal plane, their power waxes and wanes with the winds of magic, making them highly unpredictable foes. A demonic host can vanish on the cusp of victory, cast back to the realm of chaos as its sustaining magic fades. Conversely, a demon army can be whittled away to almost nothing, only to come back stronger and fiercer than ever when the winds of magic howl. Thus, the greatest demonic incursions are born of storms of magic, of reckless wizardly duels, or other callous, sorcerous calamities. In the frozen north, where a swirling gateway spews raw demons into the world, demons have free rein to sow terror and malice. Little wonder is it then that the mortal inhabitants of these climes have turned to the worship of the demons' masters. Yet the world is so suffused by sorcerous energy, the winds of magic so prone to ebb and flow, that almost any arcane event can prove sufficient to loose demons on the world. Indeed, the world contains many places where the walls between reality and uncreation are particularly thin. Legacies of wild magic, through which the demons of chaos can bring ruination and death. There are countless other places where the tide of reckless magic is kept in check only by the careful artifice of mortal creatures. The sites of elven waystones and Lustrian temple cities, to name but a few. The disruption, or worse, the destruction of such places can loose so much raw magic that the resulting demonic incursion could last years, decades, or even centuries. Although they might share many characteristics, no two demons are entirely alike, for all the infinite variety that chaos commands can be found amongst the warriors of the demonic hosts. Many demons sport extra appendages, bewitched weapons, or other, even odder powers that are the envy, or sometimes the pity, of their peers. Such oddities are bestowed by the demon's patron in celebration of glorious service or in punishment for ignominious failure. It's not always possible to tell one from the other. Though they are birthed of chaos, there seems a strange order to the demon spawn of the dark gods. Scholars have identified types of demons ranked by relative levels of power and countless in number. Each seems unique in their awfulness, but they are also alike. There are distinct forms that arise to curse the old world time and time again, each foul type fulfilling a particular role in some unknowable master plan. There is no understanding the reasons for these demon breeds. There is simply the inscrutable way of chaos. There are three loose groups of demons: beast, lesser, and greater. Though these classifications do not encompass exalted demons, demon princes, or the myriad of the least of all fiends that lurk in the spaces between the realms of the ruinous powers. Beast demons are lowly fiends that exist only to serve the wishes and needs of mortal servants. Champions sometimes use them as steeds or as grunts in their armies. Their dim intelligence doesn't make them any less dangerous, and in some ways it makes them even more so, since they have no concern for their own health and safety. Though it is possible to summon one of these creatures, they are more often sent to the mortal world by the dark gods. When bound to the service of a champion or similar owner, they seem to be able to cross the borders between the Chaos Waste to the realm of chaos with impunity, entering and leaving at will. Lesser demons. Lesser demons have the capacity for thought and reason, and they plot and plan in their ongoing effort to undo mankind's morality. Harbingers of doom, the greater demons are the most powerful servants of the dark gods. They are among the mightiest creatures in the entire world, and when they appear, they scorch the very land for miles around with their corruption.
I see a world drowned in fire and plague, where madness is the only reason, and death is the only respite. That world will soon be ours, unless we fight these hellspawn with every weapon at our command.
Demonic invasions are seldom motivated by territory or plunder, with the otherworldly minions of the dark gods having no desire for material wealth. Sometimes incursions are a key element in some divine scheme for supremacy, the lives and deaths of mortals made over into extra pieces upon the great game's sprawling board. But underpinning this truth is that for both the chaos gods and the demons they command, the mortal world is another canvas upon which to paint their madness. The destruction wrought by a demon is often not a means to an end, but merely the inevitable byproduct of that demon expressing itself the way that it knows how. Like the dark gods that they serve, the demons are generous with their gifts, whether the recipient wishes to receive them or not. Nurgle's minions spread plague, not to bring suffering and despair, but because they are driven to do so by the dark spark of divine essence within them. They cannot conceive of why their diseases would cause such dismay amongst their victims, for a demon of Nurgle finds nothing more joyous than to be afflicted by a pox or a pestilence. Demons of Slaanesh revel in excess, and the torment they bring is, as far as they are concerned, the most philanthropic of blessings. Similarly, Tzeentch's demons subvert and mutate the natural order, not out of cruelty, but are motivated by a combination of their own easily provoked boredom, and the assumption that their victims must similarly be driven to ennui by their static and staid existences, something instantly cured by the mutating gift of change. Only demons of Khorne are truly selfish, ever seeking to claim skulls for the Skull Throne and so rise higher status in their dread master's eyes. In this way, demons are akin to malicious children who possess a box of fascinating toys that are fragile by nature but limited in number. After all, in its own way, the mortal world is as resilient as the realm of chaos. A city humbled by plague or broken by war will eventually recover. A mortal army torn to bloody ruin by fang, blade and claw, or blasted apart by sorcery, will soon be replenished or replaced. This may take hundreds of years, and cost untold thousands of lives along the way, but demons don't reckon time as mortals do, and inevitably find something else to draw their interest in the meantime. If the demons even comprehend the harm they are causing, they most certainly do not care. Inevitably, and with few exceptions, the mortals of the world react unfavourably to the demons' beneficence, and assemble their armies to do battle, though the demons are always somewhat dismayed by this most obvious rejection of all their gifts. All save the demons of Khorne, who simply view an enemy army as a single massive offering waiting to be claimed. Their innate joy of battle swiftly overtakes them. After an eternity of fighting their fellow demons in the realm of chaos, the opportunity to strive against mortals, with their shifting and unpredictable natures, is a fresh and invigorating experience all on its own. At this point, the biggest and most powerful demon in the host assumes overall command. Occasionally, such primacy is guaranteed by that demon's standing within the Dark Pantheon, but most of the time it is a privilege that must be fought for. Such bouts of dominance can rage for days, as the various pretenders and the portions of the host that they individually command battle for control. Once his opponents have been cowed or banished, the victor enjoys unbroachable authority, for a few days at least, guaranteeing that any foe the host encounters will find the demons united and of a single purpose.
They are wickedness made flesh, cruel licentiousness given form. Truth will not save you, for truth is no hold over such aberrations. Courage cannot save you, for they sap your courage as readily as your fear. Faith is the only defense that you can trust.
For a mortal, there can be few more terrifying experiences than to be caught in the path of a demonic army. Heralds of the gods ride at the army's head. They spread the proclamations of their masters in a tongue so dark and twisted that it somehow pierces even the guttural battle chants of Khorne's bloodletters and the discordant singing of Slaaneshi demonettes. As the main host grows nearer, a shadow falls across the sky, the sun's light choked from the air by the unfurled wings of roaring bloodthirsters and squawking furies. If there are demons of Nurgle amongst the host, the next thing to be noticed is a bowel-loosening foul odour and the baleful drone of 1,000 plump black flies. Now the very ground upon which the host marches starts to ripple and flow, as Tzeentch's demons spread their gifts of change with rampant glee. Water flows uphill, trees twist into blackened and writhing tentacles, and the air is suffused with multi-hued fire. In the final moments before the battle, the demonic host falls silent, tens of thousands of eager demonic eyes watching to see if the mortals will stand and fight, or flee in terror. Then the air rings to the sound of 100 sonorous horns. Roaring and bellowing, shrieking and squealing, the demons hurl themselves forward to assail the doomed foe. Where the enemy is strongest, there do the demonic horde's direst warriors attack. Soul grinders advance with clanking stride, great iron pistons thumping with harvester cannons booming. Great unclean ones lumber forward, bellowing joyfully with each sweep of their rust-pitted weapons, their massive bulk smothering or trampling any foolish enough not to evade their ponderous coming. Keepers of secrets hack and tear their way through the foe, each blow exquisitely placed to ensure maximum suffering. Lords of change send rippling waves of untrammeled sorcery arcing through the enemy ranks, mutating and incinerating all in their path. Should a particularly bold or desperate foe withstand these, then they must hold fast before the mighty bloodthirsters of Khorne, the raging demonic reavers whose tireless axes claim skulls by the thousand and spill rivers of blood. Few indeed are the mortals who can manage such a feat. When the enemy breaks and flees, snarling flesh hounds and chittering fiends of Slanesh bound and skitter in pursuit. Diminutive nurglings swarm over the corpses, picking at eyeballs and playing all manner of foul games with the discarded entrails. As terrifying as demonic incursions are, they are nothing as to what would occur should the winds of magic grow strong enough to allow demons to walk the world at will. On that day, the world will be subsumed into the realm of chaos, and all who yet live will be consumed by insanity and death.